Hi, my name is Kia, and I'm nervous. I don't like my voice on camera, or I don't like, sometimes how I always come across on camera, but I am braving it out because I feel like I am not the only person who feels the way that I feel about dating 40 and over in these dating streets in this climate in 2026. And I'm just like, it got to be other people out there that feels how I feel. And maybe they just want to talk about it or have somebody that can talk about it too. So, welcome to A Lid for Every Pot. Um, Firstly, this statement came from my grandma, who um, back in the day used to tell me when I felt a little discouraged, like, don't worry, honey, it's a lid for every pot. Just got to find your fit. And I was like, what you mean by that? Me mom? We called her me mom. And she said, it's somebody for everybody. Trust me. She said, you see so and so over there? You see so and so over there? You was like, she's like, they got no business having a man or a woman. And so she's like, if they can find somebody, you can find somebody. So I just feel like since online dating and the internet and social media became a thing, dating is just different. For those of you who feel me, holla if you're with me. Because, you know, in the 90s, man, did I love the 90s. Like, if you saw somebody at the store, somebody was walking down the street that looked appealing to you, you was at a concert or a party with your friends, or you was just at a social event or something and somebody liked you on a bus at work, somebody asked you for your number. They sometimes kick the little corny line. I heard enough corny lines in my day. Ask you for your number, you exchange numbers, you talk on the phone a little bit, bam. It was that simple. I am not an expert by any means. Okay, divorced after 19 years of marriage. I've been divorced 7, 8 years now. I've dated a little bit here and there. I spun the block on some old boyfriends since then, and I had a couple little boyfriends. Had a lot of first dates, y'all. We gonna talk about that. A lot of first dates, and I don't think I'm an expert. Not by any means. I feel like, the Lord and I talk about it all the time. I said, God, whoever he is, you're going to have to put them together, fix a little bit of this over here. We want a little personality over here. We want a little sense of humor over there. We want some mental stability over here. We want some decent looks over there. We want some stability financially over there. We want some no baby mama drama over here. We want some, not a whole bunch of little kids issues over there, or not even kid, like just no drama, right? And put them all into one little package and sit them right here in front of me, Lord. That's what I've been praying for. Like, whew, these dating streets are not for the weak, y'all. They are just not. So I'm like, I can't be the only one. So we need to talk about it. If there's at least one person out here who feels how I feel, who are struggling, like I'm struggling, like a lot of us Gen Z's, Xers, I don't even know what Gen I'm supposed to be anymore. Seriously, I don't even know. We are like the 40 to 55 or 60 range. A lot of us are back out here again after being divorced or unfortunately widowed, or you was dating, John for 20 years and he never wanted to put a ring on it, or, Susie over here didn't want to get married, or, whatever the reason. A lot of us are back out here in these dating streets. And I remember having a really funny conversation with my lady doctor, my GYN, a couple years ago, and she was kind of initially poking at me for like being single and not being out here. She was like, because I was celibate for a really long time, and she was like, "Why? You're young. You're attractive. You out here living life. You're single again." And then she proceeded to tell me in the next breath, like, "Well, your age group has the highest STD rates than some of these others out here, and I understand why. Because the older men like the younger women, the older women like a younger man. We back out here trying hard, and some of us think that it's still the '90s, right? And we're not realizing that we gotta be concerned for safety and all kinds of things. And it ain't just women; men go through it too. This is not exclusive to sisters. I mean, the brothers and the men, they go through it too. And I'm like, for her to say that lets me further know that, yeah, that waiting around and hoping, hoping for the right person to come along is not a bad thing. It's the way to go. So a lid for every pot is just what I would like to consider just a conduit. Like, not here giving advice, just sharing experiences, talking with other people who might have been through the same thing. Bringing other people on. Maybe some that are not 40 or older, over 40 and over, who can share some experiences, maybe who can help us figure out what the heck is going on out here in these Dayton streets. Now listen, I'm pretty technologically savvy, if that's the way it's supposed to be said. So I've been on the dating sites too. I mean, because it's the only way people want to meet anymore. And nobody wants to meet the old school way. A lot of us that I've talked to are yearning for the days of old. When dating was normal, when it was fun. When it was safer. Honestly, you knew this family and they had a son over here, and this family, and everybody in the neighborhood knew this one. And if you met somebody that was out the neighborhood, the eyebrows went up a little bit. We got to know them. It was different. Like, I remember going over my oldest daughter's father's house, like, for dinners with his family. Like, we as long as my grandmother and my mom knew where I was, I remember being able to, like, have boyfriends pick me up in their cars and take me on dates. We used to go skating in movies and things like that. I remember those days when it was just safer and fun. I don't know if it's the times. I don't know if it's the the public the public way that things are being done now. Like, now there's lists and do's and don'ts, and you can't go to these restaurants, and there's all these unspoken rules. And if you don't give up the hoo-ha and 4 dates, then dudes are stepping off, or you splitting the bill, and who's going to pay. And, like, there's so many different things that we just didn't worry about or stress over back in the day. And I want to talk about all of them, y'all, because I'm weary. I'm getting a little worn out. And I'm not going to make these videos long. I'm going to try, and, please engage with me. If you feel how I'm feeling, if anything interests you, I am not and somebody who's going to come on and give advice. I just want to find a space for us to park these feelings, for us to talk about it. If it's anybody that agree with me, to come on and talk with me. Think about it. There's all these shows now. There's a lot of us out here looking for love, not just in our age group, but period. I think it's a little bit tougher for us because we're a little old school, because we learned things a different way, because we were around when it was just beepers and pay phones and before cell phones, before the internet, so we dated differently. So I think it's a little bit tougher for us because you're yearning for those days. You know what I mean? Those of us who are still married, who are still with that person from back, God bless you. Ooh, God bless you that you made it. Hold on. Hold on to that. The God's unchanging hand. Because the rest of us are out here hanging by a toenail. Ooh, Jesus. So I just want a space for us to talk about it. I may, bring some other people on at different times. I mean, I'm new to this thing. I'm navigating it the best that I can. I don't want to give advice. I don't want it to be that, because I don't think I'm in this space to give advice. But share some of my experiences. You share some of yours. Have a place where we can talk about it. We can vent about it. Who knows? You might interact with somebody and find something. That's not my intentions. Trust me, I do not want that job. There's a lot of people out here doing really well with making the space for people to be able to find love and doing it well. We know who you are out there. I ain't saying no names. I ain't trying to get in trouble. But y'all know who you are out here. You know it. It's a couple that's doing it well. And thank you for that. Thank you for using social media in the right way and giving a space. But sometimes us in our age group, we may not feel comfortable doing that. Some of us like to watch. but we may not feel comfortable. And I just want to talk about it. Maybe I can be, a small conduit, that people can use just to come tell their stories, share their stories. I want to have a little segment called First Time, Worst Time, because I have had quite a few first dates. Quite a few. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about. I got a lot on my mind. I've been thinking about this for a while, and as nervous as I am about getting on here and being public, and I know that y'all out here because I hear y'all talking, complaining. The people that I know, people that I see on social media, people I see on these dating shows and things. I know that I'm not the only one, and I just want to talk about it. I think talking about it and getting it out is healthy. It's healthy. It's healthy, right? So, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Kia. I am divorced, 8 years now. I am a mom of adults. I'm a grandmom. And I'm out here in these dating streets, not literally, but single, and just trying to find a place to voice my concerns. I don't even want to say opinions. I don't even know, y'all. You tell me. So this is a lid for every pot. A lid for every pot. Thank you, me mom, for that title. And I'm gonna end this by quoting the words of my sister, India Ari. I'm not gonna play the song. Please don't shut me down. Don't come sue me for copyrights. But what she said in that one song is how I describe a lid for every pot. Don't be offended. This is only my opinion. Ain't nothing that I'm saying here, law. This is a true confessions of life learned lessons. And I'm coming here to share it with y'all. So listen, hopefully other people will be willing to share their first time, worst times, to come and voice their opinions and give advice or whatever it is that you feel like you want to do. I'm going to figure this thing out. I just wanted to come on to introduce myself and what it is. A lid for every pot is here to do, and that's just to give you a spot to park your concerns, your opinions, your whatever it is about dating 40 and over in this era that we're living in now. Listen, be safe out here in them dating streets, and I hope to see y'all soon. God bless.